CEM 954, the voice of truth, the official radio station of the Church of Christ or Iglesia ni Cristo.
Don't be afraid to take the baby steps. It's another day, don't forget, 'cause just a prayer away. Don't give up now, trust the process and keep learning. And if you need a friend, we're in this together, together, together. We're in this together, together, together. We're in this together, 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 together as a family in faith and melody.
Yes, hello, hello, hello. Welcome back, everyone. It's a new week, and you are listening to INCradio's Faith and Melody, where we have deep, rich, and life affirming conversations and also listen to inspiring Iglesia ni Cristo original music. How's everyone today? It's the start of a new week, and we've got a great program laid out for today's show where we're talking. We're taking a moment actually to check in, not just with how the year's been, but with ourselves. This is our mid-year check-in. It's about reflection, celebration, and also remembering that it's never too late to correct our course so that we can realign ourselves with purpose and with faith. As for your host on today's broadcast here on this beautiful Monday, this is Jay from Australia.
And this is Belle from the United Kingdom. And as your host for today, we're so excited for you to join us. So let's get the show started with our first song on our playlist today, which is Recognize.
With God, everything becomes possible. We can overcome any obstacle. There's nothing that will ever be too hard for us because God will be with us. He won't fail or forsake his chosen ones, but we've got to have faith, hope, and trust him, and always obey his holy laws and commandments. Then he'll give us courage to stand and fight for our faith, no matter what happens. We will never lack in any good thing, and the power that his son will grant us is sufficient for everything. Walk with spiritual confidence, worship God and promise him we will honor him. He created heaven and earth, there's nothing too hard for him.
So don't be afraid, keep your hope alive, endure until the end in the church of Christ, and recognize the power of our God, and recognize his goodness and his love for the church of
None of us should be left behind. Have faith in our God, he'll defend and guide us. Even if we're cornered, stressed and tired, believe that a Father can provide the strength we need in our lives, the capacity to survive. All of the trials we face, our God will replace with blessed eternal lives.
So don't be afraid, keep your hope alive, endure until the end in the church of Christ, and recognize the power of our God, and recognize his goodness and his love for the church of Christ. Through faith is proven. It produces patience, and it's shown through good works. When our faith is tested, and we gotta sacrifice. That's a solid investment in receiving the crown of life. The crown of
Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, everyone. This is Jay and Belle on INCRadio's Faith and Melody. And if you're watching us live, it's currently 12 a.m. over there in our main studio in the Philippines. And we're halfway through the year. So it's the perfect time to, take time to pause, breathe, and reflect. And that's today's topic, mid-year check-in. But before we dive into our discussion for today, let's begin with our kickoff chat.
Kickoff chat.
Well, since it is a mid-year check-in, what's a win from the past 6 months that made you feel proud? And yes, hopefully there in our team live chat, Arohana is able to, share with us their wins in the past 6 months. But yes, let's start off with Jay over here.
I thought you were gonna start first, but Belle, the great thing is that when it's this time of year, it's a great opportunity to look back and just see what you've accomplished. I think just surviving the past 6 months is already something that we should be proud of. Especially getting through it. So much has happened over the past 6 months. I think for me, one of my wins, my personal win from the past 6 months is yeah, basically, I think we shouldn't take for granted that we're able to continue fulfilling our duty, like especially here on INC Radio. For me personally, for those who know, since I am hosting from Australia, the time zone isn't really the nicest. That's right now when you're watching us live, right? For me. So I think just being able to still push through, persevere, and continue doing this at this particular time zone on my part of the world, I think that's something that I'm proud of personally. How about you, Belle?
Well, for me, one win from the past 6 months that I can share is, making more time for my loved ones and friends and family. Because, most of the time, like everyone gets really busy, life is never going to slow down. So actually making the effort and making time and actually scheduling something and following through with that, it's a win
Yes,
because
it is.
most of the time most of the time, we always have like catch ups with our friends and everything. And that's nice because you haven't seen each other in so long. But you know what's nice also, like with the people that you have like nearby or like your close circle of friends and people in life, it's nice when they're included in your everyday life. So, making the time for them, like, or including them in your mundane everyday life activities, that already makes the difference in your bond. So, yeah, that's something that I've been working on lately, and it's been good so far.
Since
But
since you're talking about like the having more family time, one thing that I've just remembered, something that I'm quite happy, quite proud of. I know one of my goals as well was to have more date nights with my wife, with Jem, right?
oh,
And I just realized that over the past, I would probably say 2 months, we've been having a date night scheduled, done. We actually do one, not date lunch, more like a date night, right? More like a date lunch, every week for the past about 2 months now, right? So it's been nice to be able to catch up with her, to actually have that one. Because the great thing is we have somebody that also helps to look after Lena, right? So that's a great thing. At that time of the week, we're able to catch up with each other and actually sit down properly without the stress of looking after someone that's got special needs, right? That extra, just really just to ourselves. So that's nice for me. Rod shares here, and actually, let me just give a quick shout out of our Ohana, our viewers that's listening to us and chatting with us there in our live chat. Thank you so much for all your support, especially even the ones that were just listening in. We have, of course, we have Rod Kahayag greeting us, saying hello, Faith and Melody. We've got our executive producer, our sister Des Asena, saying happy, beautiful Monday, Ohana. I also saw Manong Delmar said hello to us here, saying aloha to us. If I can find his message, where is it? Where he said hello to us earlier. And we also have Lani from, oh, actually, I'm not sure from which part of the world Lani's from, but thank you so much. He's saying hello for Faith and Melody, Ohana. And of course, our Kuya Mario Oka is there saying good midnight here in the Philippines, because it is midnight there. So again, thank you as well to those who are staying up there in the Philippines and tuning in with Faith and Melody. He says here, enjoy watching INCRadio Faith and Melody. Greetings from Local of Brixtonville, District of Caloocan North. And Rod says, he shares here one of his wins from the past 6 months. Recently, Rod says we won the men's volleyball tournament for the local congregation of Livermore. So there you
wow,
go. Well done.
well
I know
done.
that Belle and I are fans of volleyball, right? Uh, so that's an awesome thing because like I like watching and playing volleyball, but mostly watching it because I'm not the greatest at it. But yes, that's a great achievement. Definitely something to think about. And since we are all talking about that, we have what's another one there? Actually, that we're going to be talking more about this, right, Belle? Because our topic for today is our mid-year check-in, right? So we have a lot of more things to talk about with our mid-year check-in. So before that, before we get into our topic discussion, again, we want to say thank you to everyone that participated in our kickoff chat. And why don't we just close up this little segment? So that's been our kickoff chat for today. Can we get a closing bumper?
Let us know if it's something that you're willing to take up as a
Kickoff chat.
Okay, so before we get into our topic discussion, the next two songs that we'll be listening to are titled Believe in His Promise and I Wanna Live. So don't go anywhere. We'll be right back after this.
Do you ever feel the whole world's caving in on you? Do you ever feel that you just don't know what to do? Remember that you are not alone. The Lord God is on your side. Don't forget His promise to the church of Christ. Believe in His promise that He will make us strong. Believe in His promise that He will never let go of us. Believe in His promise. Believe in His promise.
I am with you. Be not dismayed, for I am your God. I will strengthen you. Yes, I will help you. I will uphold you with my righteous right hand.
God made a promise that He'll save and strengthen us, and He made this promise only to His chosen ones. Believe in His promise. Believe in His promise. God made a promise. He'll save and strengthen us, and He made this promise only to His chosen ones. Believe in His promise. Believe in His promise. Believe in His promise. Believe in His promise.
I wanna live. I wanna live the true life in the end. I need to win. I need to win the prize at the very end. I want to live the true life, 'cause the promise of God to give the prize is waiting for me. On that day is waiting for me. As I strive for the prize, I'll keep holding on. The prize is yet to come. I wanna live. I wanna live the true life in the end. I need to win. I need to win the prize at the very end. Ooh, I wanna live. Ooh, I wanna live. I got the Father's love, and it keeps me going. Gotta complete the race. No, so when Father, oh, He never left me. I got the strength to run the race completely. Keep marching on, keep fighting till the battle is won. Keep holding tightly, won't let go. Keep waiting for the prize. I'm ready. I wanna live. I wanna live the true life in the end. I need to win. I need to win the prize at the very end. And I'll keep marching on, keep on till the battle is won. I'll keep on.
This is Jay and Bell on INC Radio's Faith and Melody, and we are beginning our topic discussion today about our mid-year check-in because it's true, right? We are halfway through 2025. Can you believe that? Uh, right now, it's July 15 for me, 14 for some of you maybe. But yes, definitely halfway through the year. So let's begin this discussion by reflecting on where we've been so far this year, right? What we've experienced, how we've changed, and where we are right now in our personal and even in our spiritual journey. So let's kick things off by asking that question that we've just posted there in our live chat. For our Ohana, our viewers who are watching with us today, let us know, how would you describe your journey so far this year? Right? Whether it's your personal journey or your spiritual journey, like how would you describe how things have been going for you? So let us know your answers there in our live chat. But of course, you've got myself and Belle here on the panel. So Belle, why don't you kick things off and let us know how's life? How's life been for the past 6 months?
Well, Jay, I can say that these past 6 months have been a bit of a roller coaster for me. You would think that 6 months is a long period, like of time. But if you think about it, right now we're in July, right? Mid-July. And it felt like the year has just gone through in a blink of an eye, like at least half of the
Yes,
year.
that's true. That's true.
So
I
yeah,
agree.
I feel like a lot has happened in that amount of time. And for me, it's just there's been a lot of changes. Anything can change within a second, within an hour, within a day.
Hmm.
So, like for me, this past 6 months have been there have been there have been good times and also bad times, and that's life, and that's okay for me. But what, like for me, um it's just I don't know how to explain it, and I don't know how to describe it, but like so far I can describe it as a roller coaster of emotions. But not in a bad way, because at the end of the day, for me, what I've discovered about myself during these 6 months is that I've been able to be more present, especially during the hard times. Because, when you are going through something, sometimes you tend to, um, push people away, or like isolate yourself. So for me, um, I've been working on being more present, and you know, trying to face the situation, like with my whole being, rather than avoiding um, the negative stuff and hiding from the pain. So yeah, for me, it's just been a bit of a mix. But at the end of the day, I'm still here standing. So yeah, I'm just really grateful.
That's like definitely, I think most of our viewers also will probably be in the same page where it feels a bit of a roller coaster. I just read um, Kuya Nathan's insight there, what he wrote, his comment. He says 2025 has been chaotic. We're about to buy a new house, though. I'm thankful for my life, health, and all my duties. I've had to trust God more than ever, and He hasn't let me down. Right. So I feel like I'm in the same boat, like with you and with Kuya Nathaniel there in the live chat. It's like I just feel like this year so far, we're only halfway through. It feels like a blink of an eye, right? I felt like I just sneezed and all of a sudden we're in July. Right? It's so quick. But it felt like it is been a bit of a ride. It's a mix of everything, right? A lot of stress and happiness and a lot of joy and a lot of excitement, but then also a lot of uncertainty and things like that. It's been crazy. It's been a pretty crazy 6 months, and we've still got another 6 months to go, right? We still got a long time to go. Well, short time. I don't know how you depends on how quickly the next 6 months goes, but I feel like we're already halfway through July and we're gonna be in August soon. It's just been busy. For me, I think my journey so far has been, even though it's been crazy and busy, very similar to what Nathaniel said. We've gone through so much, but because we've put a lot of our, over the past 6 months, I definitely can say I feel personally that my faith and trust has grown more, because I know that's one of those things that we also work towards, right? Growth in your personal life, your work life, relationships, but even your spiritual life. And I feel like that's an area that has also grown for me, right? In terms of my faith and kind of just like listening more to what God has planned for me, because many times we kind of like get distracted with what we think is right. But when you take, actually, my own experience in life is that if you take the moment to listen to what God wants for you, you'll realize and you'll see it, right? You just need to really pay attention. So that's one of those things that I think has come out of the past 6 months so far for me, is like really paying attention to where I can spend most of me, like where our time and everything is very limited. And even though everything is chaotic, you got to listen where God wants you. Like, is He placing you for this next chapter of your life? Right. So whatever that might be. So it's been a pretty crazy 6 months. Um, but before we get into any more of those details, right, we've got a lot more things to talk about. And really, one of those is we've asking this question because most of us start the year with some goals, right? They call them usually New Year's resolutions, right? We have those intentions and goals to do something new in the new year. So we want to ask then, since we're talking about how the year's been going, it's been a bit crazy, been a bit of a roller coaster, but we had goals at the beginning of the year, didn't we? So has any of your New Year's intentions or goals, has it shifted? Has it changed? Have you had to readjust? And why do you think you've had to do that? That's the next part that we want to know, right? So Belle, over to you. Is there any of your New Year's intentions, like you were intending to do something different this year? Like, has any of those goals changed or shifted for you?
Maybe not really changed or shifted, but I've been trying to make more time for them, such as being consistent with creating content. It's something that I've really been trying to do. And I mentioned earlier that one of my wins was to make more time for for family and my loved ones. And that has been one of my um, New Year's resolutions because, at the end of the day, you don't know what's going to happen tomorrow. So it's always nice to make the most out of the situation or the time that you have with them. And for me, also, making more time for the things that I love doing. And most of the time, we tend to be, stressed or sad or sometimes even bored. And we tend to forget that there's hobbies that we used to do back in the day, or maybe they have been neglected a bit, and returning to those hobbies like make you realize that, oh, I can actually like invest more of my time in doing things that make me happy. And and you feel even more productive like that, because not only it is something that makes you happy, but it also like it sparks your creativity even more. And that's something that I've always tried to work on, not only this year but like generally. But of course, like at the beginning of the at the beginning of the year, that was one of my goals, and I'm happy to say that yeah, I've been working on it and it's been going well so far. But at the end of the day, if you do set a goal and if it changes or shifts us a bit, that's okay and it's normal. And as long as you go for it, then the rest will follow, right, Jay?
Right. And that's true. That's true. Like one of the goals that I kind of set at the beginning of the year was just to be more healthier. I think many people generally have a goal to be healthier, right, in the new year whenever that comes around. Well, it was one of my goals, right? I was more focused on calisthenics in terms of, not really losing weight, but just getting strength in that. But generally, the added bonus when you're working towards some sort of physical activity is that you do end up losing a bit of weight. I feel like I've lost a lot. Like how we were saying, I don't measure my body size, and where you should though, right? That's the proper way to do it. But I didn't. I just used my belt that I use for my pants. And I've noticed that it's so loose now, right? That I have to use quite a lot of holes. And more than before. And I was like, you don't think like 10 kilos. I don't know what that is in pounds, is a lot. But that's kind of roughly how much I lost since like the end of last year to now. And yeah, it was sort of an not intentional. It really was more of like a strength thing, right? But one of the things that sort of shifted for me, and I think this is more on a mentality side of things, my reason, right? My reason towards my goals. So I don't know what it is that has, like you said, this past 6 months has been crazy, been a bit of a roller coaster. A lot of things have happened, and many of those things do affect your perspective in things, right? And one of the things that I've realized is that when it comes to setting the goals that I set for myself, a lot of those was obviously goals are set to give you fulfillment and to make you happy. But I've realized that sometimes your happiness, your goals that you're setting for yourself to be happy, it shouldn't be reliant on somebody else being happy. So let me just explain that a little bit. So basically, if your goal for you to be happy is like, you want to lose weight so that your wife will be happy, right? It's you're making yourself happy for somebody else. Like you're relying on somebody else's happiness for you to be happy. Like if one of my goals was, to be more active and more energetic so that I can keep up with my daughter, right? So that I can make sure that she's happy, which is not saying that's a bad thing, but it's kind of like I'm relying my happiness on their happiness. So whatever the goal is, whether it's a work goal, a career goal, what I've realized, or like learning a new skill, like it shouldn't be based on somebody else being happy. Uh, For me personally, right? That's still a great reason why you would choose a goal. But I think your happiness should come from you directly. It should be an internal reason for you. On that goal is what you've set for yourself because it will make you happy. Am I making sense, Belle? I hope so a little bit, right? Because like,
Yeah.
if you're setting a goal to be more stronger, to be more healthier, it shouldn't be because of other people so that they'll be happy of you. It should be because so that you can be happy for yourself, right? That will make you happy. If you're setting a goal to learn a new creative output, like taking photos or learning how to use a different lens or doing photography, videography, or whatever it is, or podcasting, right? It should be a reason, not because you're making other people happy, oh, so that I can make my family happy by providing an income for them. It should be a reason that makes you happy. It's like it's gonna make you feel good. It's gonna give you fulfillment. And that's just a small mindset shift that I've realized that's happened for me when it comes to my goals. It's just still the same goals and intentions, but the base reason of it is more internal for me now, right? It's like it's for me to be happy. It's not so that for me to be able to make somebody else happy. So that's just a little thing that's changed for me. But yeah, hopefully that's takes something from someone that gives someone some thought. But let's read in our live chat because I like what Rod says here when we were talking about roller coaster and how the whole year's feels like it's the best way to describe it. Rod also shared if it isn't a roller coaster, then that's something we may need to worry about, right? Like I feel like those ups and downs and the craziness that happens in life kind of helps to give you momentum and also a perspective on something like, oh, something needs to change for me here, right? Because that's whatever it was that happened in my roller coaster over the past 6 months has given me that different perspective on how I view setting my goals, on making it something that makes me happy, not for me to be happy because somebody else will be happy for me. Uh, Rod also shares it's not a New Year's goal, but he says, I've been wanting to cut my own hair on a regular basis and not go to the barber anymore. So far, I've been cutting my own hair regularly. So that's a pretty awesome goal, or like not something that's changed for him, right? Belle, do you cut your own hair? Have you ever cut your own hair? Like, is that something that you've ever thought of doing? Because I know it's hard, especially for men doing the back part, because like we don't have long hair in that. Doing the back part of your hair, yeah, it's very very difficult. You need basically a 360-degree mirror or something like that, so that you can see what you're doing to cut the back of your hair. But Is that something you've ever done, Belle? Because I know Gems at least cut her hair, trimmed it, and given herself bangs. It's something you've done.
Yeah, especially during the pandemic, like, we had a lot of time back in the day. And
Yeah.
yes, I was able to give myself some layers, and yeah, that was fun. And in terms of like trimming your own hair, my brother Dandan, he's the youngest. He's been wanting to learn how to do that as well. And I told him like just start, like it doesn't have to be perfect, because at the very beginning, that's when you really don't know what's like, you don't know anything about it, so it's okay like to, you know to make mistakes. It'll get better. And I've seen that there's like a growth in his skills. Like he's so good now that whenever he does like
Ooh.
some fades on the side, I don't know what the terms are, but
But by
whenever,
himself, he can give himself like fades and everything
yeah,
on the side.
himself and to other people as well, like his friends. And it's getting smoother and smoother, and he's so good at it now. So yeah, to Rod, like, yeah, you'll be able to do that. And it's gonna be, I know, he actually said that he's been cutting his own hair regularly. So yeah, I mean, as long as you're consistent with it and you actually practice, because at the end of the day, like, your hair is gonna grow back. So like if you do like a little bit of trim like every week or every few weeks, then it's gonna grow back. And at least you'll have experience with your own hair or like other people's hair, um in terms of that. And yeah, it's really helpful. So I'm glad that he shared that, because like my brother like had the same idea as well, and he's so good right now. Like he's so talented.
Well, it saves going to the barber, right? So over
Yeah.
the course of a year, like you could put that what you've saved from going to the barber by cutting your own hair towards something else, right? Something else that make you happy, or a gift for yourself or something like that. Whatever. So it's pretty cool that when you if you learn a skill like that. Um Jim cuts my hair, so that's kind of like how we save. She's the one that cuts my hair, but yes. Hello, hello as well to Priscilla Batan that just said hello to us there in our live chat, saying, God bless po to all the brethren around the world. Most importantly, make a great day. Enjoy watching from Rizal. So thank you so much. Happy evening, midnight. I know it's a bit late there, but in the Philippines, but thank you for tuning in, supporting Faith and Melody here, and being part of our family, our Ohana, there in our live chat. But as we've said, we've had a lot of different changes this year. We've had a lot of goals as well that's probably shifted. So, over the past 6 months, that I think for most of us has been pretty crazy already and pretty much of a roller coaster. What's something that you've learned about yourself over this past 6 months of the year, right? What is something that epiphany that you've had, right? Like one for me was like I mentioned, just like it's nice, it's different when you approach a goal and it's because it's going to make yourself happy, not it's going to make somebody else happy, right? That happiness is an internal thing that makes you happy. Actually, I read a comment from Rod. He said here, revisit your why when setting your goals and you'll be happy. And he's got the acronym for why, your why, uh, wonderful, happy you. So there you go, wonderful, happy you. But Belle, let's go on. What's something that you've learned about yourself over the past 6 months?
Well, over the past 6 months, one thing I've learned is that not everyone has the same heart as you. No matter how much we put care and effort into something or someone, it's not gonna be the same in a way where, at the end of the day, we're all different people. We all have different ways to express ourselves and where we want to put our effort in. So, yeah, like as I mentioned earlier, like I've been trying to be more present and, be there in the moment, especially, when things go wrong. And that's what I've discovered. I mean, it's not like a huge discovery, because at the end of the day, it is true that everyone is different. But having someone with really pure intention and a good heart, like everyone portrays it in different ways, or you know, they just have a different a different way to approach things. So that's what I've learned about myself, that I shouldn't really get upset when someone has a different way of showing their care, or if they don't care as much as I do, then at the end of the day, that's about them. But yeah, that's something that I've learned, that it's not something I've learned, that something that I rediscovered, that it really hits you that at the end of the day, you're all different people. Like you and me, JR, like we're completely different people. We might have our similarities and all that stuff, and that's nice, of course. But yes, so another thing is, at the end of the day, you should be choosing people who choose you. So yeah, that's one thing that um I really have been dwelling upon. And yeah, what
I
about
like
you?
that. I like that, Belle. It's like choose people that choose you, right? Makes sense. It totally makes sense. One of the things for me, something that I've learned about myself is just how important it is to have strength of mind, right? Like to have a strong mindset, to have a strong, and that's really heavily for us, especially as Christians, is based on our faith, right? And kind of like that kind of gives us a direction whenever we have to make choices and decisions. But one thing that I've realized affects the strength of your mindset, especially when you're faced with a fork in the road. You have to make a choice between two things and making the right choice and making the best choice. um, your strength of mind is also related to your health, right? Because it affects everything, your mood, your personality, how good you're feeling, how bad you're feeling. All of that is kind of like it stems from your mind. So one thing that I realized that's very important that affects my mood, and I've been sort of monitoring this myself, uh, you need more rest than you think you do, right? Many people have been like, especially online and all, they promote, oh, if you're an adult, you don't really, you can survive on like 4 hours sleep. You're going to survive on like 6 hours sleep every day and all of that. Yeah, you might be able to survive, but your strength of mind will deteriorate, right? It'll go down over time. And I think that that's one of those things that I've realized for me is that, especially with the amount of demands and stress and like what we mentioned, the roller coaster of a year that we've been having so far, of having a strong mindset, a strength of your mind is really, really important. And that ties into looking after yourself. That ties into giving yourself quality rest, right? Good quality rest, nutrition as well. But I think rest is very important because that's when your body itself, repairs itself from all the stress, brings down all the bad hormones and cortisol and all of those things. It brings it. You need rest. So one of the things that I've learned about myself is don't sacrifice my rest to do something else because that will sacrifice my health over time. And if you are not able to have your health, your strength of mind, then you're not able to make the best choices, the best decisions, and it will affect your mood. So even though everything might be going well and good, you might feel pretty sad because your mind isn't healthy. So you have to make sure you look after that. And that also comes into play with like what you're feeding your mind, what you're listening to, what you're watching, what you're reading. All of those things are things within your control. Take control. So Bell has that nice saying, choose people who choose you. My saying is take control of what you can control. There you go. So let's go ahead and give another shout out to some of the comments there, Bell, that's in our live chat before we take a little break and go to the next part.
Here, Rod said, I've learned that I have more patience. And that's a really good one, because, you know, not everyone wants to like take time to process things, and, you know, take the calm way instead of the rushed way. So yeah, that's a really nice one. And also here we have firstly, but Priscilla Batan also saying hello again. And overall, it's just what you mentioned about taking control of what you can control. That's also taking taking time in, trying to feel more at peace. Because if you if you um
It's true.
if you
Your peace is like it's your peace. You can control that, right? Do you have the option to react to how to react, right, Bill? To like whatever happens to you. Like even this past 6 months, what I've learned is that I can choose to react in whatever way. And if I choose for it to affect my peace, then that's my choice. Or that's why you can choose for it to not affect your peace. At least that's what I'm getting from what you're saying. Right.
yeah, and also you're putting yourself through the situation twice if you get anxious over some things that are not in your control, and you're trying to make the best out of that situation. uh at the end of the day, yeah, if you choose to have that strong mindset, like try to build that strong mindset and try to focus on what you can do instead, then that'll make the difference. Because at the end of the day, if you think about it or not, it's still gonna happen. If you overthink over it or not think about it at all or avoid it, it's still gonna happen. So it's up to you how you want to react. And thank you for you know um for sharing that. It really puts things into perspective, and it really shows that at the end of the day you can always choose to look at the brighter side of things. You always have that choice of you know feeling more relieved from the situation, although it is chaotic at times. But with that said, um we will continue on with our topic discussion in a bit. But since it is Faith and Melody and we listen to music, we will have another musical break for you. And we have prepared two songs, I Have You and Lahat Posible sa Ama. And we'll be right back.
When darkness surrounds me and all seems lost, and the problems I face are seemingly insurmountable, I bow my head and pray, full of hope, 'cause I have the Almighty who will save me from trouble. People fear for today and worry about tomorrow, but I won't despair. I know you'll get rid of my sorrow. This world may feel helpless with the stress and spreading illness, but with your help, my Father, I'm truly blessed. I will never stop serving you, my God. Even when I'm down, you come with your love. I am strong and brave. I will never be afraid, 'cause I have you. You inspire me to wait patiently and hope for the grace you reserve for me. I'll endure, come what may. In my duty I will stay, 'cause I have you. And whatever situation, I'll keep on serving, strong and steadfast in faith, training in holy living. As long as I'm inside the Church of Christ, I'm certain the things I do in service are never in vain. I will hold you down, the hope you've given me, and never hesitate to tell people about it. 'Cause your words of truth are our light in the dark. I share my faith and show them the right path. I'll never stop serving you,
we wait patiently, hoping for the grace you reserve for me. In this night, let the light to come on the strong holy rain. Whatever may happen, so you, my God, even when I'm down, come with your love. I am strong and brave. I will never be afraid, 'cause I have you. Find me to wait patiently for the grace you deserve for me. I do come one day. In the Church of Christ I'll stay. All your promises are true. I know I'll make it through, 'cause I have you. Sa panahon ngayon, ang laman ng mga diskusyon, negatibong emosyon at mga impormasyon. Pero di ako mahuhulog sa depresyon, dahil alam ko ang tamang direksyon. Aking iingatan ang sarili't focus lang, di pahahad lang. Laging ready sa bawat laban, panatag ang loob na ako'y tutulungan ng aking Ama na makapangyarihan. Di ako mababahala, sa Diyos magtitiwala, sandat ako'y panata. Hindi ako nagdududa, siya'y di magpapabaya. Lahat ay makakaya, lahat ay makakaya, lahat posible sa Ama, kaya lahat ay kaya. Ha, ha. Lahat ay makakaya, lahat ay makakaya, lahat posible sa Ama, kaya lahat ay kaya. Ha, ha. Sakuna o karamdaman man ay lumala, di na ako magtataka at di mangangamba, kundi lagi lang sincero sa mga pagpapanata. Ang magpapalakas sa akin ay ang aking Ama. Kung sunod-sunod man ang mga pagsubok, anumang sitwasyon, kailan may hindi susuko, hindi maiinip, matyagang maghihintay sa katuparan ng aking katubusan na malapit na. Di ako mababahala, sa Diyos magtitiwala, sandat ako'y panata. Hindi ako nagdududa, siya'y di magpapabaya. Lahat ay makakaya, lahat ay makakaya, lahat posible sa Ama, kaya lahat ay kaya. Ha, ha. Lahat ay makakaya, lahat ay makakaya, lahat posible sa Ama, kaya lahat ay kaya. Ang Diyos ang aking proteksyon sa lahat ng oras at panahon, kaya siya'y naglagay ng namamahalang mapagmahal sa iglesia at nagmamalasakit sa tuwina. Di ako mababahala, sa Diyos magtitiwala, sandat ako'y panata. Hindi ako nagdududa, siya'y di magpapabaya. Lahat ay makakaya, lahat ay makakaya, lahat posible sa Ama, kaya lahat ay kaya. Ha, ha. Lahat ay makakaya, lahat ay makakaya, lahat posible lahat ay kayang-kaya.
This is INCRadio, DCEM 954, the voice of truth, the official radio station of the Church of Christ or Iglesia ni Cristo.
Hi, sweetheart.
Hi, Mom.
Homework?
Kind of. It's a school project, and you have to present someone from LA we admire.
Celebrity time. Who's it gonna be? Actor, athlete?
You.
Cool.
Yeah. You work hard. You help out with everything around the house. You never complain. You just do what's right, even when no one's watching.
I don't know what to say.
You don't have to. Just don't make me redo my project.
The world may celebrate stars, but the ones who shine brightest are not on screen. They're family. A message from INCRadio Los Angeles.
What makes a family strong? It's trust. Trusting that the family members will listen.
Hey, how's your day?
Pretty exhausting.
Come, let's eat. You can tell me all about it.
Honesty opens the door to understanding and closeness.
Is everything okay?
No, we're supposed to do a group presentation, but the other won't even help me.
Sometimes you need a lot of courage to say what you think or feel, but it's worth it. Try it.
When your children are honest about something sensitive, tell them how much you appreciate their honesty. Why do we keep reminding our children? Because we love them and we want them to grow up trusting our Almighty God.
So we talked about, our experience in these past 6 months and what we also learned about ourselves in these past 6 months. So, now let's talk about adjustments. What needs recalibrating, whether mentally, emotionally, or even spiritually, as we step into this next part of the year? So, what's one area of your life that could use a reset or a refocus as of now, Jay?
That's a good question. And having some time to think about it, I think it's really about balancing everything in life, right? I'm trying to, there's this, there's obviously people that we can use as a resource to help us be able to be more productive and take advantage of the opportunities that we have. One of the things that is important that I've learned is balance, right? You don't want to be too heavy or too lenient on one aspect of your life and you neglect your family or you neglect, your duties, your spiritual duties and things like that. So everything needs to have balance. So I think one of the areas that kind of like needs a rework for me is balancing everything. Really, it ties into time management, right, Belle? Like being able to take control of your time, take control of what you can control.
Yeah, I see what you did there.
Right. And basically being able to manage it so that you are disciplined enough to do what you need to do, right? To be able to take care of, your family, to be able to take care of your relationships, your friends, your connections, your duties, your work. Like there's so much things that you have to balance. And if you don't keep track, if you don't stay on top of it, like over time it will gradually veer off the right path, right? You won't, what they say is like if you're heading towards your one goal, for example, and you start veering off course, even like a degree or two, it may not seem much, but over a long period of time, you would have been so far away from what your goals are, right? So that I think is important as well with balance. It's like part of it is reviewing where you're spending your time and kind of like catching up. So part of my plan that I want to like refocus on is plan to review where I am and see if it's still aligning to where I want to be with my, with my relationship with my wife, with my family, with my daughter, with my duties, with my work, career, all everything in life. Like there just has to be balance in there. Uh, you don't want to neglect something and not realize it until it's too late, right? You don't want to do that. So you have to, I think part of that whole balancing thing is reviewing as well, kind of like what Rod said, going back to your whys. You shouldn't have to do that only once a year. It should be something that's more regular than that. And so you can identify what's important and is it still important. So then you can then take control of your actions, take control of the things that you can control in your life to give yourself that balance. Because I feel like when you don't have balance, kind of just like when you're trying to balance on anything, like you fall over, right? And it's like a struggle trying to get back up. So trying to stay on balance is very, very important, I feel. How about you, Belle? Is there anything in particular? Like mine's very broad. Mine was just about balancing everything, health, relationships, connections, duties. Like there's so much things, especially for parents, right? For not just the book load, not just the married members, but those who have children who are still dependent, especially, right? There's a lot of balancing that needs to be done from that particular stage. But in everyone's area of life, you'll realize that there's always lots of balancing that you need to be done, right? Especially if you're preparing for college, for uni, for work, whatever it is. Is there an area for you, Belle, that you are thinking about it might need a little bit of a adjustment or a refocus?
Not really like adjustment, but maybe like development in my career. Um, yeah, I feel like I'm just looking for more opportunities and more time in terms of that because like it's just hard nowadays. Like life is really hard, and it's also hard to find a job that really makes you happy as well. So, trying to get there slowly but surely, and that really goes hand in hand with all the rest of like my life responsibilities, um, the tasks that I need to manage as well. So yes, um, I'm just trying to get there, trying to be like um, more stable in terms of that. But yes, I really like that you mentioned about balance because that really is that really is the core of how your day to day life goes, right? And
Mm.
without that, you won't be able to get through the day, or you wouldn't be able to um, have a structured day in a way where you know what you need to get done, and you know where you need to be, and things relating to that. So I'm glad that you really mentioned that because it might sound like quite simple, like, oh yeah, I just need to balance things, but at the end of the day, some things aren't as linear, or other things are just last minute, or something comes up. So yes, it's always a sort of a challenge to balance everything, right, Jay?
It
So
is. It's definitely a lot of work, right? It's keeping track. That's what I think balancing is. It's a game of keeping track of where you've spent your time. Like we know that we all have the same amount of time each day, 24 hours, right? But then where it gets spent is different for each one of us. But then many times you realize you actually many times you don't realize where the hours, the minutes have gone because it's so easy to get lost doom scrolling on social media. It's so easy to get lost trying to go through the emails that you've received. It's so easy to get lost in just watching one more episode of something, and oh, I need to watch the next episode, just one more, right? And it's easy to get lost, and lose track of time. So balancing, definitely, I feel like what you said, it's a lot, it's work, right? But it's important work, because if you can keep things in balance and in some sort of, what's the word, in a good flow, in harmony, like everything's harmonious and they all work together, like the flow from your work to your family to your duties at church, and your service, and time for yourself, time for rest, right? When everything is flowing nicely, you don't have as much stress. I'm not saying you don't have any stress, like that's unavoidable, but I think it's less stressful when everything kind of like flows and it's not so much as a roller coaster. I think
Yeah.
I think the whole game of balancing is trying. A roller coaster is like extreme, ups and downs. I think it's about making those ups and downs smaller, right? They're not so steep, right? Like all of a sudden you're on a high, then all of a sudden it's a steep down, like making it a little bit as flat as you can possibly kind of make it. Like it'll never be flat, but you can come close, right? Or
Yes.
make your way towards that. But
Yeah.
it's hard work. So go ahead, Belle. Like I just wanted to know for you, because one thing I realized is that there's always pressure and trying to get things perfect when you're trying to work on new goals and new things, right? Like Rod says here, one of his goals is regular exercise for him. Actually, there's an interesting one. Nathaniel says, I prefer a work life imbalance. I prefer more life than work. And I will agree to that, right? The whole work life balance. I think that thing there's this, oh, you're always sacrificing something. So I agree with that. I prefer more life than work when it comes to that. But things aren't always easy. There's always this whole thing about pressure of getting things perfect, and always growing and going through hustle of everything. So, Belle, I'll get you to answer this one first. How do you let go of pressure and perfection when you're moving forward and move forward with grace with your goals and adjustments?
Most people don't even try. They're too scared to try. And what I mentioned about earlier, when my brother mentioned to me that he wanted to start cutting
Right? Yeah.
his hair, I told him, it's not gonna be perfect at first. Like, just try it. Like, if you invest your time into it, and you actually try and practice, then you'll be able to get there. And that goes with the same thing as this. If you're too scared to try, then you'll never be able to experience that. You'll never go a step ahead. But if you do try, you're already doing something more than other people would have done. Because most of the time, we're like too too stuck in our own ways that we're just too scared to try something new, right? And that's more like that's really plausible. That's a normal thing because sometimes change can be scary. So if you do think that at the end of the day it is something new, you allow yourself to not be perfect and make mistakes where you can learn from. um, that's enough. That's enough progress for you, in a way where if you allow yourself to you know um, take those baby steps and to be a beginner, like what we mentioned last week. um you'll be able to get to move forward more than actually being scared of trying to get into something new. So yes, um, that's how I try to let go of the pressure. I just think of the possibilities that if I never try, I'll never know. And if I do try and be consistent, then I'll be able to get more out of it. So, yes, that's how I try to let go of that perfectionism mindset. And it's hard, especially when you really do pay attention to details. It does get hard to let go of the pressure because you're like, oh, it needs to be perfect, it needs to be like this. Oh, I'm at the beginning stage. If I don't do it perfectly, then how can I perfect it? So yes, if you do let go of the added stress, you'll be able to enjoy more the journey of moving forward, especially with grace.
The thing that I'm gonna add to what you just said though, because I totally agree. You gotta just give it a go, right? You gotta be kind to yourself as well, because nobody starts any journey, any change, any adjustment in their life, in their goals or their intentions. Nobody starts off perfect. Nobody starts off at 100%. Everyone starts off from generally the bottom somewhere, making mistakes, and you gotta just be kind to yourself. You got to say that that's okay and that's fine, right? That you're going to make mistakes. You're going to stumble a little bit, right? Because you're working towards growth. And like what we mentioned, previously as well last week, is that the fastest way for you to learn is when you make mistakes. Mistakes are like the best teachers, right? Because they teach you an area that you need more work on. Because if everything was perfect, it's like, okay, so where's the growth? Right? Where's the things that you can adjust or change? So if you're learning to draw, if you're learning to, to paint, if you're learning to take photographs, just do it. Just take the initiatives, and it's okay if it's not perfect, because that's where you'll just learn and grow and improve over time, little by little. And that's how I think growth is. It's just little by little, step by step, right? And that gives you like that freedom to experiment and try new things and find new passions. And just then that will probably help you realize whether what you're working towards, is it really something that's important. So that they all kind of like come full circle together. Once you start working on it, then you'll find out if it's something that it's for you and if it's what God wants for you, right? So that's kind of like the importance about just let go of the pressure of like, oh, it has to be perfect first time. It shouldn't be perfect first time, right? It's always a learning block to everything, a learning curve, right? To everything. And yeah, give your time. That means that you're just growing. So I think kindness is very, very important to yourself, right? Kindness to yourself is very important when it comes to growing, when it comes to learning something new, making changes in life that you need to. And with that, I'm just going to quickly read a few of our Ohana comments here. Quick shout out as well to Ariel J. Ramos, who's saying hello to everyone here on Faith and Melody, and they're in our live chat. So hello to Ariel Ramos for tuning in with us. I know it's a little bit late in his part of the world. Yeah, Mario Oka is still there, of course. And for Rod, he also has an acronym for the word, for the title mid-year check-in. How? How does he have an acronym for mid-year check-in? Okay, so this is his acronym, which is amazing. Again, monitoring individual development, you exercising and reassessing choices, health expectations, Christian knowledge improvements necessarily. I mean, I'm sure that is, I probably didn't read it right, but that's pretty cool. That's like kind of like all the keywords, all the keywords that you need to remember during this mid-year check-in. But yes, hopefully you all have been enjoying our little conversation that we're having in this mid-year catch-up, how things are going this year. We've already talked about how the past 6 months have been and kind of like areas that we want to grow and refocus and reset, and just remembering to be kind to yourself. Before we continue with the rest of our discussion and really analyzing what truly matters, especially for the next 6 months, we're going to take our next musical break. The next two songs that we'll be listening to are titled Everything is Possible and Keep My Eyes Towards Heaven. Enjoy these two songs. We'll be right back after this. Marco, your text already with the song? The next two songs that we were listening to. Oh, and also I didn't give a shout out to Ka Marietta Miller saying good morning, greetings from Medford, GWS District of Oregon. So thank you so much as well to Ka Marietta for tuning in with us in our broadcast today. And hopefully everyone's been enjoying the little topic. But really the next thing, we're gonna post it there in live chat. So Belle, if I can get you just to post that question. The next thing that we're going to be asking is, what's one goal or value you want to carry into the next 6 months? What we have left for the next of the year, right? So if you had to, all of your goals, everyone's been mentioning about goals and things that they want to focus on in their life. If you had to choose one, what is one goal that you would, because focusing is very important, right? So what's one goal or value you want to carry with you over the next 6 months? That's what we're going to be talking about next. So before that, hopefully our Kuya Nico and Irene are ready with our next two songs, which are titled Everything is Possible, Keep My Eyes Towards Heaven. So enjoy.
I'm a flicker of light in the darkness, but in the still of night, I'm bright as a flame. Even if the shadows surround me, I am fearless. I bear with me your name. I want the world to see your love and majesty. I will climb the highest mountain. I will sail the raging seas. I can do it all, for you are here with me. I will realize the improbable. Everything is possible. I can do all things when you're with me. Like a whisper that reminds me to be ready. Your teachings keep me sheltered in the storm. I brave the winds that battle me so fiercely. Your words spur my heart, how it roars. I want the world to hear of your love and majesty. I will climb the highest mountain. I will sail the raging seas. I can do it all, for you are here with me. I will realize the improbable. Everything is possible. I can do all things when you're with me. I know I will stumble because the road ahead is rough. But every time I fall, you give me strength to get back up. I offer you my life and worship you throughout my years. I will never give up. You were always there. I will climb the highest mountain. I will sail the raging seas. I can do it all when you are here with me. I will realize the improbable. Everything is possible. I can do all things. I can do all things. I'll overcome the world. You're here with me.
Seconds turn into minutes, and minutes turn into hours, and hours into days. More time means more opportunities for strife, but more opportunities for strife equals more opportunities to strengthen my spiritual life. And as a member of the Church of Christ, I pray I'll conquer each test each day, cause I'm that much closer in finishing my spiritual race. With God on my side, I'm ready to take on everything this world throws at me, and I get ready and put on my battle-tested armor, ready to go through fire so I don't face eternal fire and the return of God's Son. I'll keep on running my race till my race is won. So I keep my eyes on the prize, there on the heavenly skies, and not towards this earth. I'll prove to my Lord how much my faith is worth.
Change my life, so I'll be strong, strong in my faith. Oh, I know now is not the time to lose hope, so I'll keep on running, I'll keep on running my race. God is my life, and He'll give me the strength to finish this race, finish this.
Every time my Lord God intervenes and shows me the right direction, paving my way, showing me the right path and right choices to make the right selections. Perfection, despite my imperfections, is what I strive for, all for the sake of my holy election and His guided protection, guiding me, protecting me, so I don't stray away, lose strength any day. But He continually gives me strength to run my race vigorously onwards to my true home.
I'll keep on running, I'll keep on running my race. God is my life, and He'll give me the strength to finish this race, finish this course. No matter how difficult it gets, I'll keep my eyes towards heaven.
You're listening to JM Bell here in INC Radio's Faith and Melody. And in this final part of our conversation, let's look forward. How can we realign with what truly matters and finish this year of 2025 strong with faith, intention, and joy? So, like what we mentioned earlier, we have so many different goals, so many things that we want to refocus on and reset and adjust perhaps over the next 6 months. But if you had to choose just one of those things, what is that one goal or one value that you want to carry with you, what you want to focus on the most over the next 6 months. Kind of hard sometimes to select just one goal, right? Many of us have different goals in all the different areas of life. Belle, why don't you start us off? What's one goal or habit that you want to or value that you want to focus on?
For me is consistency. Yeah, being consistent in what I'm doing right now, because consistency is, you know, the best way to achieve something. Um, if you're not consistent, then you won't be able to see the results. And sometimes results even take long. So if you're not consistent, then you won't be able to see any result at all. So yeah, for me, is just being consistent in the areas that I mentioned earlier as well. And you know, overall, consistency is also tallied with balance, as you mentioned earlier. So, yes, if you're able to balance everything and be consistent in each area of your life, then that's how you'll be able to achieve your goals that you've set for this year or, for your life. But what
Mine's
about you,
actually
Jay?
mine's actually very closely related to consistency, which is time, right? Because consistency, consistency over time equals results, right? Because that's what
Yes.
consistency is. It's you being disciplined to do whatever goal it is over a long period of time. So my one that I want to focus on is balance for sure, balancing my time, balancing everything in life. It's really challenging for whatever area of life that you're chapter of life that you're in right now. But I think even more so for parents who have dependents, and I guess for me, my dependent is special needs. So there's definitely a lot more demand on that, and being young still, like 7 years old, it's definitely a lot more demand on our time. So I think balance, but definitely I think the area in particular is time, right? That's why I really want to be able to manage and allocate the right amount of time to everything so that everything is balanced. We have so much demands for the family when it comes to, obviously your wife, my wife, and Lena and her needs, and then the supports that she needs, and just being there, and everything that's involved with having someone that is special needs, that is still very very young, right? That requires still a lot of growth and a lot of care. And then you've got all the demands and that you need to balance when it comes to your spiritual duties, right? Like for many of us members of the Church of Christ, right, we have church duties, not just one, and sometimes not even not just two, like many, and they all have to also be balanced. And on top of that, you got your work, your career, you got family, you got friends, you got connections, you need time for yourself, you need rest. So much things that need to be balanced for sure. And I think 24 hours isn't long enough. Is there a way for us to get more hours in a day or more week? I'm not sure, but it's kind of like that. It's really one of my goals, my focus, so that I can hit 2026, right? Not even 2025, but be more prepared and be more balanced, especially approaching 2026, right? Because, like we said, it's like the world's not going to get calmer. Everything's just going to get more crazier. And always, it's all about a game to balance things and keep things in order and keep things in check, right? So that no matter what comes, you're a little bit more prepared. So that's for me. Time for you, consistency. They do connect, right? They're connected together. You need consistency and time. You put all of things together and you manage it well, and you can help reduce, not eliminate, but reduce the stress that you might have on your health. So everything needs to be balanced. Even sleep, right? Sleep needs to be balanced. So with all of that, give a quick shout out. I think I saw yeah, we've got a couple of our Ohanas there that's saying hello to us. Of course, Daniel Russell still there, Rod Kahayag's there. Erica Celestino is there as well, saying hello to us in our live chat. But no matter what your goals are, no matter what you're focusing on over the next final half of 2025, right? I know we're all really busy, especially this time of year in July, right? But we're always busy. So for you, our listeners, our Ohana, and of course, Belle as well. How will faith guide your focus this second half of 2025? How will your faith guide your focus in that regard?
Well, faith, I know for sure that it will give me the reassurance and comfort through the hard times. Because when you don't have faith, then you won't be able to, look at the brighter side of things. And as Christians, of course, we've always been taught to, rejoice in times of trouble. And sometimes it's hard because we are human beings. And but when we do focus on what truly matters, and when we truly put all of our trust into our Almighty God, that's when we truly feel reassured and even relieved sometimes. You know, um, at the end of the day, no matter how grave or big the situation is, um, if we don't have God by our side, then we won't be able to get through it. And when we do find refuge in Him, then that's when, you know, we'll be able to feel more at ease, and we'll be able to find that peace in those times of trouble. And, those times of trouble are also a way for us to show that we really do value God, because it's during that time where your faith is being tested as well. So if you don't stay resilient, if you don't show up when you need to, or you don't show up for yourself even, then how can you show God that you value Him? And how can you show God that you have trust in Him? So it is during those times that's an opportunity for you to, truly show that you do find refuge in Him, and you do seek Him when things are getting hard, or even during the happy times. So yes, that's how I know that um, I'll be I'll be feeling reassured and comforted, especially during those times. And it is something that you need to work on consistently. It isn't only during the hard times or only during the happy times where you feel really grateful for the happy times, Jay. So it is something that you always need to work on, and always need to prioritize. So yes, that's how I know, and I'm sure that things will be okay uh, if we do put all of our faith and our trust in Him.
I agree because, for us members of the Church of Christ, like our faith holds a big part of, the pillars that builds our character and kind of like how we see the situation that we're in, right? And the thing with faith is that it grows, right? It starts off whatever level, but for each one, you work on it and it grows to become stronger, right? And depending on how much you use your faith and how you trust on it. So I think that's one area that's really, really important is our faith. And the thing that I wanted to say in this part, especially when we're talking about the second half of 2025, the goals that we want for our family, the goals that we want for ourselves, our duties, our work, our future, whatever it is that we want to try and accomplish for the rest of the year, the anxieties and the problems that we have to face that we don't know what we're going to face yet, right? Plays a huge role in being able to face all of that with confidence. Right? No matter, even if we knowing that we don't know what's going to happen next, we know that we can be confident that our Almighty God is someone that we can always call on to give us what we need, guidance, understanding, patience, whatever it might be, the clarity that we need to move forward for the rest of the year, move forward through whatever obstacles that might come. So the thing that comes to my mind is really a big shout out to Katya, who was on our show last week, because this stuck to my head when she said it as well. And like it forms, it's part of our faith, and it also forms that foundation of what we believe in. And really, I think it's a great addition to this topic since we're talking about a mid-year check-in. And if you're taking this time right now and you've been joining us, reflecting on yourself, what you've been through, what you've struggled with, what challenges you've faced over the past 6 months, right? The uncertainty that you might be looking towards in the next, the rest of the year. The thing that Katja mentioned last show was that God doesn't place you in a situation when you're not meant to be in, right? God's always got a plan for all of us. And the thing that she said was like, if it doesn't feel right, maybe that's God's way showing you that it's not meant for you, right? So I've been talking about balance, talking about taking control of your time and just, I guess, reflecting on everything. I think what's very important there is remembering, like, if it doesn't feel right, if it doesn't seem like it's the right thing, maybe it's not, right? And that's why you really need to pray and ask God for clarity, for guidance, and to see if it's really something that's for you or if it's something that you need to change, something that you need to adjust, something that you need to maybe pivot to something else, right? Because maybe that's already God's sign. The thing that you got to remember is you have to look for, God's answers and God's guidance in your life. You have to look for it. So that's why prayer and meditation, and reflection on how things are going, that's very, very important when it comes to everything that's important in your life, right? So yeah, that's the main thing that for me is that no matter what you're going through right now, for me, I know like all these little changes that I've been facing, uh, faith comes through because it's like perhaps this is what God wants for me. Because perhaps this is what He wants me to change and what I need to adjust. And yeah, that's probably the best way to look at it, is that no matter what it is, you have an Almighty God guiding you in everything. So yeah, we can always move forward for the rest of the year with more faith, right? Faith is something that grows. You have more trust, more patience, and of course, the purpose that we have and the hope that we have that what we're doing can help us not only live a peaceful life, but obviously attain what we want at the end of this journey or this race that we're all aiming for. And with that, that has been our conversation, our topic for today's episode of Faith and Melody. We hope everyone's taking something away from what we've covered so far. As we've been looking back in the past 6 months, hopefully it can help you reset whatever areas of your life it might be, refocus at any point, because no matter where you are right now, you can always recalibrate, right? Recalibrate the areas of your life so that you can realign it again to where you want your life to be heading, no matter what those areas are. So with that, I just want to quickly read our Christian value, and then I'll pass it over to Belle to read any final comments and intro our verse of the week. So our Christian value for this discussion that we've had today is that remember that our Almighty God walks with us in every season. From resolutions to redirections, as we pause and reflect, we're reminded that He's not finished with us yet. Each step forward, no matter how small, is part of His good and growing plan for us. And with that, thank you so much to everyone that has joined us. And Belle, why don't we give a quick shout out to any final comments there in our live chat?
Here, Rod Kahayag said, to be consistently consistent can continue if we constantly connect with God. And that's true. As long as we do seek Him at all times. And, we always include Him in our everyday life. And we also want to shout out to Zenaida Navistera saying greetings from Midtown Toronto, District of Greater Toronto. And she also said here that mid-year for me is doing great, but need to stay active, healthy to finish our goal for 2025. And that's nice. Thank you for sharing that with us. And with that said, we hope that this really has brought things into perspective for some of you, since it is mid 2025 and also mid July. So yes, with that said, we'll now go on to our next segment, which is the verse of the week. Don't worry about the future.
How has your 2023 been? Have you accomplished all that you hoped to accomplish as you began the year back in January? Has 2023 been a year that you experienced a lot of hardships? Maybe there was a sickness, or maybe there was a family crisis, or maybe you were lonely, or financial hardship, or other kind of tragedy that has disappointed your expectations for this year, 2023? Greetings to you all. I'm Bob Pauline. You know what? The Lord has made wonderful, wonderful promises to his people that serve him faithfully. And you know, we're all here so eager to see you join with us inside the Church of Christ. Why? So that you also may experience the deep joy and the blessings of faithfully serving God in this upcoming new year, 2024. May this new year be your best year yet. You know, although, yes, we members of the Church of Christ do also go through various problems, just like you in this life. But you know, the truth of the matter is, the year 2023 really has brought challenges for everyone, right? So, what do we hope for all of you today as we're about to begin this new year? Should you be afraid and fear what lies ahead in the new year? If you serve God, what can you look forward to in this new year 2024? First Peter, the Bible answers this way in chapter 1, verse 6 and verse 7. I quote, "So be truly glad. There is wonderful joy ahead, even though you have to endure many trials for a little while. These trials will show that your faith is genuine. It is being tested as fire tests and purifies gold, though your faith is far more precious than mere gold. So, when your faith remains strong through many trials, it will bring you much praise and glory and honor on the day when Jesus Christ is revealed to the whole world." So, dear friends, no need to be afraid of this new year 2024 and what it may bring into your life. Remain strong when hard trials come. And when you remain strong, it'll bring you great joy ahead. And ultimately, as we just read, praise and glory and honor on the day when Jesus Christ is revealed. So, dear friends, we also want you to receive God's grace in 2024. So, we invite you, join with us. You can also watch more of our programs on incmedia.org and learn so much more about the Church of Christ, the Iglesia ni Cristo, wherein we are members. Have a happy, happy new year in 2024. Stay safe, stay strong, stay faithful. God bless.
Thank you to Brother Bob for that inspiring message. And even now, in the middle of 2025, it's an inspiration that we can apply and take with for the week ahead. And, with that said, Jay, do you have any greetings or shout outs that you would like to do?
So yeah, I mean, that again, that was a great, inspiring, timeless message that we can always take with us in everything. And with that, I just want to say thank you again to everyone that continuously support Faith and Melody. We have all of our Ohana there, our regular viewers, and some new viewers as well that's been saying hello to us in our live chat. And one final shout out for our Tita Zenaida Navesteras is saying her last shout out to her dear friend, our Sisi Luisa Malambre, hopefully I pronounced that correctly, saying hello to her sister or friend, Luisa Malambre, and happy and blessed birthday from the locale of London District of Southern Ontario, Canada, who is an active choir leader over there. So happy birthday and shout out to them both. So thank you so much. And as well, thank you to Belle for joining me today. And just shout out to Jem and to Lena. Thank you to everyone.
I would also like to greet my family, mom, Ate Erica, Arian, Sam Sam, and Dan, and everyone who was able to share with us their journey so far here in 2025. And thank you, Jay. I know that it's hard to stay awake at this time. What's the time there right now? Is it like 4 a.m?
3:52 in the
3:52,
morning.
almost 4 a.m. So yes, thank you for always being here. And also, we also like to thank our technical team. They're in the main studio, our brothers, Nico and Irene, and Sister Des Asenas, as well as Brother Edwin Asibuke, and Brother Wally Tarai, our INC radio station manager. And we also would like to give our special thanks to our Executive Minister, our dearest brother Eduardo V. Manalo, as well as our Deputy Executive Minister, our brother Angelo Eranio Manalo. And once again, thank you for joining us and for being here. I'm Belle from the United Kingdom.
And I'm Jay from Australia, and we have been your hosts for today's broadcast. We hope today's episode has given you a positive start to your week ahead and for the rest of 2025. To close off the show, we'll be listening to the INC original music titled Ilagak Natin. So again, join us tomorrow on the next episode of Faith and Melody and for the rest of the week as well. So take care, and we'll see you on the next one. Bye, everyone.
Everyone.
Ilagak natin ang ating pag-asa sa biyayang darating. Tayo ay maganda na sa dakilang pamana na napakalapit ng tanggapin. Kunting panahon na lamang ang ating titiisin at hihintayin. Itoon ang puso, ang isip at ating pag-asa sa biyayang darating.
Totoong malapit nang tumuhin ng kaligtasan, kaya pagsanayan natin namumuhay sa kabanalan. Layuan at iwasan natin ang lahat ng uri ng kasalanan. Dapat nating supilin ang ating mga isipan
Upang di mahulog sa paggawa ng mali at sa harap ng Diyos ay maging karapat-dapat. Anong sitwasyon ang ating sapitin, huwag limutin na sa ating Diyos ay magpasalamat.
Huwag mawala ng pag-asa, manalig at tumingin sa langit. Kung magulo man ang mundo at kailangan natin ng saklolo, sa Ama tayo lumapit.
Ilagak natin ang ating pag-asa sa biyayang darating. Tayo ay maghanda na sa dakilang pamana na napakalapit ng tanggapin. Konting panahon na lamang ang ating titiisin at hihintayin. Itoon ang puso, ang isip at ating pag-asa sa biyayang
tayo sa
darating.
iba't ibang suliranin na nagsisilbing hadlang sa paglalakbay natin. Hindi maiiwasan na talagang haharapin ang buhay na mabigat at mahirap kayahin. Ang mga bagay na akala natin ay pinakamalubhana, nagdulot ng lungkot, pagluha, mga pangihina. Matinding kapighatian at pagkabalisa ay hindi kailanman siyang pinakamalubha. Yan ang sabi ng Ama, bakit tayo matatakot? Kayang-kaya nating lampasan anumang satay umabot. Magpakatatag palagi, tibayan ng loob sa pangako ng Ama. Ang paningin ay ituon, huminto at tumigil muna saglit, lumuhod. Ang mga mata ay ipikit sa Ama ay manalangin siya. Huwag nating tanungin, ilagak natin ang ating pag-asa sa biyayang darating.
Ilagak natin ang ating pag-asa sa biyayang darating. Tayo ay maghanda na sa dakilang pamana na napakalapit ng tanggapin. Kaunting panahon na lamang ang ating titiisin at hihintayin. Itoon ang puso, ang isip at ating pag-asa sa biyayang darating. Ilagak natin ang ating pag-asa sa biyayang darating. Tayo ay maghanda na sa dakilang pamana na napakalapit ng tanggapin. Kaunting panahon na lamang ang ating titiisin at hihintayin. Itoon ang puso, ang isip at ating pag-asa sa biyayang darating. Ilagak natin ang ating pag-asa sa biyayang darating. Tayo ay maghanda na sa dakilang pamana na napakalapit ng tanggapin. Kaunting panahon na lamang ang ating titiisin at hihintayin. Itoon
Pagpikit sa ama ay manalangin, siwag na sa tanungin sila. Nagtangin ng